Why is it difficult to fix Nigeria's mess? Buhari failed. Tinubu is failing. Emotional Colonel Stan Labo speaks on fight against terrorism. Welcome to the news and thank you for tuning in to listen. Please subscribe to our channel to get notified when we post our juicy news updates. Please click on the notification bell. Colonel Hassan Stan Labo, a security consultant and defense strategist, has tackled the past and present leaders of Nigeria on their failure to end terrorism in the country. While speaking during an interview on the RRØR1SM television morning show on the issue of insecurity in Nigeria, Colonel Stan Labo asserted that the former President Muhammadu Buhari did nothing in the fight against terrorism in the last 8 years. According to him, Buhari promoted an enhanced Nigeria hardship and Nigerians allowed undue sentiment right from the presidency to be visited in our alleged purported plan or action against terrorism. He stated that there is a resemblance with President Bola Tinubu administration and Buhari-led government in their fight against insecurity. He also tackled sympathizers of terrorists calling for amnesty with a claim of repentance. He noted that as soldiers, their duty is not to grant repentance, but to hasten the terrorist appointment to God. Appealing to the military, Colonel Stan Labo said that to win the fight against terrorism, they must face the war with seriousness and desist from leaving PWs elsewhere, reserve efforts for belligerents who tomorrow will face our children. He said, and I quote, "The former President Muhammadu Buhari in the last 8 years did virtually nothing in our fight against terrorism. He promoted and enhanced our hardship as far as the fight against terrorism is concerned. We allowed undue sentiment to rise from the presidency to be visited in our village, purported plan or action against terrorism. You could read religion, tribalism, ethnicity, etc. It is unfortunate. At a subnational level, we had governors, especially up north where I come from, under that administration that had a sort of romantic and holy relationship with terrorism. Degenerating to a situation where some of them were talking about amnesty. It was shocking to some of us. Amnesty for who? You tell me they are repentant terrorists. Repentant from what? We are soldiers. Our duty is not to grant repentance. Our duty is to hasten your duty to God. So for us to be bringing large number of men from the forest who were armed and taking on fellow Nigerians, then on the appearance of soldiers, they drop their weapons and you are compelled as a professional to take them PWS and you bring them back to us and you say they're repentant and you give their godfathers sitting in government houses to begin to talk about amnesty. So now we have a new administration in place. In the last 6 or 7 months, I haven't seen a change from what has been happening in the last 8 years. We hope the president now is not listening to some ill advice coming in from some elements of people who have sympathy with the last administration to him on how to fight terrorism. We have an ample opportunity to change the guard on how we fight terrorism. I appeal to my colleagues in the military. I understand very much what the rules of international law says on PWs and so on. I must tell you, gentlemen, if you must fight this war and come out of it unscathed, and make sure we don't eventually leave this world for our grandchildren to fight continually because of our attitude, then we have got to face this war and face it with the brute it calls for. Face it with all the seriousness it calls for, and not to start heaping PWs here and there. The more PWs we gather, the more we are heaping up a reserve force for belligerents who tomorrow will face our children. Whether we want to accept it or not, that is the bitter truth. When you meet them in the forest, bring them down. I am beginning to see a great deal of semblance and insecurity under this present administration and the past administration. The political will in the administration towards this thing is so weak. I was expecting to see a commander-in-chief who will be touching down on Plateau, coming out of a military helicopter in camouflage and see the helmet, accusing villagers that we shall get this rubbish done with. We shall stop this henceforth. Talk to the women and children. Talk to your service chiefs. Tell them to give you 1 or 2 weeks to produce the perpetrators. For your national security advisor, your DSS and service chiefs to produce the perpetrators in the next few weeks or lose their job. This is the sort of decisiveness I ought to see from a commander-in-chief, from someone who calls himself the father of his nation. What is happening? Is it so difficult to get us out of this mess? We cannot crush these guys and kick them off our territory. Well, make I tell you to all this plenty talk within the talk. Buhari failed, Tinubu is failing. Believe you me, I'm tempted to say you never see anything. I tell you. Everyone is waiting for the military to do the needful. Buhari and Tinubu picked their cousins as the head of security agencies in Nigeria in order to misbehave. When any northerner talk like this, it rekindle hope in me. I take solace in this kind of honest talk from a northerner. Why? Because I always believe that they are sympathizers and accomplices. They are sentimental about religion, and because of their numbers in security, they shield those guys and hamper coordinates tactics undue to subdue the terrorists. Their politician manipulates laws to give these monsters for a fair landing. How long will the good people of the north? How long? They all know what is happening. Nothing will change. Not until they stop lying to themselves, thinking they are lying and fooling us. The terrorists have links and connections with some top ranks in the Nigerian army and the Nigerian military that gives them vital information and support. Honest is a difficult way to combat them. The quickest way to push the military of those bad decades to deny them the vital support and information. Because you rig them people who are not capable. It seems the killing of Plateau State means nothing to Tinubu, the same way Buhari behaved at such scenario all through his tenure. Only God knows what Buhari did and Tinubu agreed on oath before the former handover to the latter. It is appalling, so to speak. Is it not your people's plans? The terrorism business in Nigeria? Where in Nigeria did you hear that happened the same the north and compromise security enhancement through military by giving terrorists national security information? What are you still talking? Allah is watching. The leaders, both Buhari and Tinubu, rule their family members and cronies, and as such are the worst corrupt administrators. What then can we expect from master looters? Tinubu has ab initial looted 4 wells before 6 months. Imagine what will be the state of night before the end of its administration. If Nigerians continue to wait for the elusive better Nigeria of fake promises, the earlier Nigerians say no to rhetoric and fake promises and administration, the better. Top. Alright, on this note, you've come to the end of the news. So thank you for tuning in to listen. Until I come your way next time, enjoy the rest of your day.